Hello.
Hello.
Hi. We've got Ian. I think Endurance just sent out the Zoom, so we might have a couple of people come in.
It's an email just gone out.
Yes. Yeah. I've had a bit of a. I've had a bit of a. I'm not going to go into it. I've had a bit of a even bigger curveball, but I'll leave it there. So it's all a bit sort of flying by the seat of my pants this morning. But I wanted to run this if I could, because we had quite a few people sign up. So we've got Jacqueline, we've got Martin, we've got Ian, and you never know, we might get some more people. So can you see my slides okay?
Yes.
Cool. Hope you are all well. And let's press on. Right, so funnels. Oh, that's the wrong bit. Let's go to that bit. What is a funnel? Okay, so let me just get my notes. So you've got like a physical funnel. What you're doing is you're hang on, let me go back a step. Missed a bit. Right. Okay, let me go back a step. I'll start again. So whatever you're doing online, you want to be attracting the right clients into your business. And there's loads of ways you can do that, but social media being one part of the marketing mix is great, but that can often be complicated, exhausting, and doesn't necessarily, it certainly has its place, but it doesn't necessarily give you that consistent return, or certainly make you as visible as you'd like to be from an evergreen point of view. So when you're doing more with your website and your content, that gives you an opportunity to grow more of an asset, an email list, which you own, rather than a following which you don't own. But it is part of that funnel, because if you've got people on social media and you're incentivizing them to come over and into your world, onto your website, and to potentially take that action, then they are in that journey. They're on that journey with you. And the other thing that's important to say, wherever anybody comes from, is that if they've only just discovered you, they're not going to necessarily be ready to commit and buy and start working with you, because that would be, it's different when it's a product, but when it's a service, you've got to connect, and find out a bit more about that person. You don't suddenly give away a load of money. And yeah, so I think particularly for service providers, this whole funnel warming up, nurturing is really, really important to understand, because it's not like a product business. I mean, again, it does depend on the service, I suppose, but mostly they're not going to be jumping into working with you. So what that funnel does is it sort of gives you that opportunity, those sort of stepping stones, sort of guiding prospects in. And the reason it's bigger at the top is because you probably have more people coming in at the top, but then as they go down, it sort of narrows. Not everybody will end up working with you anyway. So it's about progressively on providing more information on a need to know basis, rather than bombarding them up front. And I see a lot with websites where everybody puts all their information on and wants to show everything, and it's a little bit, you're better off. You can have lots on your website, but it's that journey, it's that taking them on the right road for what you want them to. Now, it might be that you have a couple of journeys, You know, you might, for example, in my business, I can talk to somebody who doesn't have a website at all, but the journey they would go on would be quite different to a journey for somebody that does have a website. So that's the other thing, is you can segment your prospect a little bit and give them a more of the right journey for them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But the other benefit of this is that you've also got a way to measure the effectiveness of a funnel, and you can actually see the metrics and what things have been clicked on, and kind of go from there. So the stages of a funnel would be awareness, right at the very, very top. 1 second, that's my notes. Here we go. So awareness would be where, you know, it's quite broad. They've not known about you at all. Perhaps they have come across you on social media. It could be a social media post. It could be a blog post, or it could be some kind of advert, or it could be, you know, you did a talk somewhere, or you met them at networking. Then at the interest stage is as they become more aware and develop a bit of an interest. So that's where you're giving them the next step. So what do you want them to then do? Do you want them to download something? Do you want them to have a call with you? You know, these are all things, there's no right or wrong answer. We have to just test it. And then as they start to consider whether they want to work with you or not, the content then is more targeted. That might be more case studies, it might be reviews, it might be comparisons, or, you know, testimonials, so that they can see that you've achieved these results for other businesses, and therefore you could for them. And then finally, the conversion stage, or we call this bottom of the funnel. So you've got top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, and that's where they're ready to take action. And that might be you know, a sale. You might have some kind of membership subscription, but they've gone on those steps. And of course, the thing that's working in the background here would be an email list, and would be communicating via your email list to help get that interest and that conversion. So my recommendation is to start small. What you would need a page on your website that has a form, and I'll talk about the tech in a minute. They fill out the form, and obviously on that page you would want to entice them to want to make this next step. So you're going to want to talk about the benefits of your freebie. But if you're really starting at the very beginning, you know, give them something, get this offer, or this freebie needs to solve a small part of the problem. So you don't have to go too big on the freebie. It could be a checklist. It could be, you know, a 1-page or a 2-page PDF, but something that really helps them solve a bit of a problem, and isn't too overwhelming and too long. So once they've filled out the form, that would then take them to a thank you page. And that thank you page is really important. You don't want to miss out on this, because then you can almost position the next step in the funnel. That might be going into a free community, or it might be a really, really low cost offer, like a £7 offer, or it might be some kind of wait list for something you've got coming up. So the thank you page is really important to include in your funnel, because you are missing a trick if you don't do that. And then what's kind of powering that is some tech that's going on behind the scenes, where once they've filled out the form, they will then get a confirmation email, which is all automated. Once it's set up, you haven't got to worry. And then there might be an email sequence that they would go through, and triggers and groups and all sorts of things can be going on in the background, but don't worry about that. The simplest funnel is just, you know, 1 page, thank you page, and then some emails. The challenge around choosing the tech is that, especially in the coaching world, there's lots of all-in-one platforms and this does everything and da. And I won't go on my soapbox yet about it, but you do need to be careful because you can get kind of tied into one thing that's then quite tricky to then get out of. And also, if you are working directly with a company and their support isn't so good, you're then kind of on your own. You've got to figure out quite a lot of it on your own. And we had somebody else coming up. So what you need and what you want might be two different things, or that what someone's trying to sell to you. Hi, Catherine. An all-in-one system might just be more than you need. And so I'm all for trying to, as ever, keep things as simple as possible. That you have a solution that can kind of grow with your business, but you're not tied into website and everything. That it's still got its place. It's not trying to do everything. So when I say all in one, that isn't to say that there isn't a nice place that you can have the funnel bit being all in one, I think is fair to say. So something that we use is called Go High Level, but it's something that they work with agencies or techie people like us. And the benefit of us using this, it's kind of called software as a service. It's where you've got the software, but you've also got the support by a team who are able to get things set up, help you learn the ropes. And if you then want it to be sort of grow and become bigger, you can do that. And that's why I've got my little team that help me with that. And some of the features of this are things like actually having a CRM, which is a really, really useful part of where to put all of your customer data in one place. You can also have a digital product or something, or even a community. Obviously, your email marketing is all included in that, and your sequences, etc. And there's other features as it gets bigger. But ultimately, you do need some kind of tech. MailerLite is a great one. That's free. It's a free piece of software. That's a good place to start. But it's just don't put it off, is my advice. Just try and get going on it. Because the sooner you start, the sooner you're growing that list, and the sooner you're nurturing and turning those into. And I guess the other part of the funnel process is, yes, you've got organic traffic, people coming in organically, but you might also want to consider some kind of paid traffic, whether that's like Facebook ads, Meta ads, where you can be really getting them to come in at that very beginning point into your world as your content marketing and your organic stuff gets going. So I think pretty much that was everything I wanted to share. Any questions? Over to you.
Can I raise something? Because I haven't started this yet. Well, a big question. How do you get rid of a fly is my first irritant. But apart from that, if you're going to do a funnel, and I understand the concept and the process, and you attract lots of people, and some months, 20% of them go, oh, that's interesting, and 5% of those go, oh, that's really interesting, and then one buys, and you go, ka-ching. But there's the nurturing bit that I'm not 100% certain on, and whether or not you set all that up so it's all automatic. I've got MailerLite at the moment, and you put all these emails in, and they just ping out when someone's, or are you actually engaging in them and going and having a proper discourse? And I imagine for me it's not going to be thousands of people. That's the thing. So I could do it on a one-to-one basis almost.
I mean, I would say, I mean, email marketing again is another part of the puzzle. So when someone's downloading a freebie, you would definitely have maybe 3 emails ready to go that are part of a sequence for that particular freebie. But then,
I guess that if I was doing something, it would be a how to get to sleep if you've got troubled mind type, and it's a 2-pager. It's PDF, little instructions. Follow this. Okay, thanks for downloading that. Let me know how you get on.
yeah,
And if you want to take the conversation further, kind of, not those
yeah.
words, obviously, but yeah, okay.
And then, so you said the first email would be, thank you for signing up. Clearly, you're struggling to sleep. This is going to really help you. This is what I want you to do next. You'll download this, get yourself comfortable. Try and kind of help them take action, because it's all very well going and downloading these things, but what we actually want them to do is to do it, because we know that what we're offering does work. The second email then might be, how did you get on? If you haven't done it yet, I'd really encourage you to. It's only going to take you 10 minutes. Choose a time that's good for you. So you're still trying to get them to take that action. And then the third email might be then trying to get a little bit of feedback, or I mean, you could start telling them a bit more about you, but it should probably still be about them. But if you can weave a little bit in. Now, there is something called a welcome sequence, which then might be more of a kind of storytelling, who you are, how you got to the point you got to, why you do what you do, some case studies. But that could almost be a separate sequence. So you could have your freebie sequence that they get to the end of, and then a trigger that would then set off the next sequence. So that's getting a little bit complicated, I appreciate, but you could start to think of them separately, because say you had another freebie idea at some point for a different type of customer who actually their sleep was fine, but maybe they were just drinking too much, or they were I don't know, there was another problem. You could have a different freebie, but then that could connect to the welcome sequence further down the line as well. So that's where you start to get your automations in place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was kind of my next question as well. Could you have lots of first line freebies? So I could have one for, I don't know, exam nerves, Sunday night blues, can't sleep. I could have little pockets.
Yeah.
And depending on and then they all eventually come in, because the big program at the end is the same for all of them.
Yeah.
I just don't know it yet.
Exactly. So that's obviously quite a lot of work doing all of those as separate freebies, but some people will have different issues that something they will relate to more than, say, they're not sleeping. So that's where you can really test this stuff out. And again, on your website, you could funnel them in. Are you struggling with this? It would take them down that route. Are you struggling with this? Take them down that route. Do you see what I mean? So you can really start to get very, very specific. But ultimately, the solution is the same for everybody. So you're still taking them to that solution.
Understand. Good.
I remember hearing you say, Martin, that you've got like a lot of blogs and articles. So in either your welcome or your sort of nurture sequence, you could then, if that's their particular issue, you could point them, you might like to take a look at this, and point them back to your website, to another article or something like that. So you've captured what their interest is, you've delivered what they've asked for, but you've probably got more stuff that you can help them with, and so you can point them to something else to look at or read or whatever. You're showing again your expertise.
Also, Martin, just 1 second. I was just going to share this one thing for Martin. Martin, you're thinking of doing this Sunday night thing.
Yeah.
People that are not enjoying work and they're dreading going to work the next day, and ending the weekend on a high and starting the week ahead in a good place. That could be a great next step. That could be on the thank you page. Why not join the free half an hour? And in the emails as well. PS, I'm running this every Sunday. It's only half an hour. Why not come along and make sure you start. So that's the beauty of it. You can, but like Jacqueline says, yes, get them to go and read other stuff because they might not be ready to join a community, but that's where your emails really come in handy. So,
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sorry, Ian.
No, I was actually going to say something for relative to what Martin was saying. Given that he's splitting up the various items, is it beneficial to do 2 of each one, as in one for potential user and one for somebody who knows someone to be a potential user? Because it would be slightly differently accented, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So do you mean like if they were struggling, so if it's the person struggling to sleep or their loved one struggling to sleep, would you
or
keep it separate?
even a family member or friend.
Yeah.
Because you could put it in words that they could use to get that person to do it, maybe.
I mean, I think with what I don't want you doing is creating. I suppose I'd say it's quite a bit of work. Once you've got a funnel set up, you can duplicate things. So it might be that you could word the freebie, if you or a loved one are struggling with sleep, that could be, it could be one freebie in that respect. But if it was another thing like, are you coming home from work and drinking too much, and it's impacting your family life or and just sleep, I suppose, that would be worth doing, because that might be a symptom somebody relates to more. Bit like with your audience, Ian, someone's got tinnitus or someone's just got blocked ears, it might be that it's a different treatment, but ultimately you're trying to meet them where they're at and giving them a bit of free, go and buy some of that stuff that relaxes your earwax, because then they start to trust you because you're giving away free value, and they're thinking, well, that's really helpful. But the reality is they'll forget to do it, and then they'll still have this problem. And so by keeping in touch with them and saying, how did you get on? Can you hear me yet? Get a bit of fun with that. Maybe come and talk to me about having an extraction, and let's get it done properly in one go, and rather than it take, so there's yeah. Any other questions, any other thoughts?
Hello, I find it difficult to do these panels or try to create an offer because I have clients who want different things. It's not a service I'm providing, it's an object created for them.
Yeah.
It's fine jewelry. So I can't really see how to, Yes.
Yeah. So you're making bespoke jewelry, aren't you? So essentially, that your audience could be the person buying it for a loved one, or it could be the person themselves buying it. So I would probably be thinking a bit more like that. What are they going to be struggling with? Struggle's probably not, it's a nice problem to have, isn't it, when you're creating something, but you want to stand out as the person that can bring that bespoke element alive. And so giving them, a client of mine at the moment, she's a funeral celebrant, and she's created a freebie, 5 alternative funeral ideas. So it's just sort of trying to broaden someone's horizons as to what's possible beyond the norm. So I would probably be thinking a bit more like that.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
And what about, how many of you have funnels set up that you're nothing at all? No. Okay. Nothing at all. Okay. And and Martin, you did talk about MailerLite, but in terms of how appealing would it be if I said that all of that could be technically taken off your hands and done for you, so that you just came up with the idea and the content for the freebie, would that be something you would be interested in, or would you be quite happy to go and do that? Your probably a half question, really.
Well, from my perspective, it would get done quicker.
Mm.
If I was left to do it. I mean, I quite enjoy the process of learning of how to do these things, as you know, but yeah, the chances are it would get done a lot quicker if someone else did it for me.
Yeah. Okay. Because I suppose that you're the expert of your business and you know your customer and you know what they're struggling with or what their desires are. So it's kind of using your time in a better way, whereby you're focusing on the content and then the rest of it is kind of done for you. So that is a service that we do offer. And if you're interested in chatting to me about that, then please let me know, because as Martin says, that would be something that could then be set up and done for you, and still an element of working together, because you know your business and I don't. but yeah, I just wanted to sort of share that, really. Any other questions or comments? Or no? Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I think we can leave it there then. I can drop some links. This is the stage where I can sort of talk about where I meet a lot of customers at, where maybe you've got tech issues or your content's not quite right and converting, or perhaps you're not getting enough traffic, you're not visible enough, you're not getting the right traffic to your website. And I can help with each of these. So quite often do lots of rescuing of websites and unblocking the traffic jams and also helping to create a plan. So, the messaging, the keywords, the content, and also the structure of a website, all of that has an impact on how your website will perform. And then, of course, the ongoing content, getting those conversions, understanding the metrics, being able to, really understand the whole process. And that I have a method in which I do that. So kind of every business is different, but there's an element of stabilizing what's not working, what maybe the platform's wrong, maybe the support you've had with the web company currently isn't helping, or maybe you don't even have a team helping you. So there's different ways, through this process of kind of we sort of strategize, we slow down, we take a step back to get a few things realigned. We sort out the structure of your site, we organize your content, we optimize it, and then we kind of do this repeated systemizing. So that's sort of how I work. And I've changed things slightly in that I'm now doing more of the strategy piece at the beginning as a one-to-one, rather than doing that in a group. And that's come from the fact that every business is so different, and it means I can kind of accelerate you a bit quicker up front, and then we can slow down a little bit with the understanding and creating the ongoing content. So if that's of interest, then what I'll do is I will drop some links. So please just share, while I drop those links, please just share some maybe one thing that you found helpful today, and I will go and grab the links. Oh, sorry, gone back. Where are we? Have I gone too far? There we go. There we go. Too many clicks. Oh, good. Yeah, MailerLite is really good. As I say, it is free. that is the if you want to book in a call, and I can show you a bit more information about the system that we use if you did want, and we can set it up in MailerLite as well. That is an option as well. But yes, do let me know if you want to have a chat. But otherwise, yeah, lovely to see you all, and thanks for coming along. Now, this is the last live session now for about a month, because what with various things that are going on. So I still have the free community, which we will be posting some replays and things in. But in terms of actually these sessions now, we'll not be back for 4 weeks. So yeah.
Quick last question before you go.
Yes.
If I was to set all this up in MailerLite and then decided I need something a bit more robust than maybe what you're offering, is it easy to transfer?
Yes, because you would be, all of your like opt-in page and landing and thank you page stays where it is. So all we're doing is porting over the other bits and pieces into the new system. So it's more straightforward. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good, no problem at all. All right. I do an online free help session could be really effective. Yes, I totally agree, and I think that could be really good. It's about getting that communication and that dialogue going, because if somebody starts to, it's a bit like this session, it allows me to be able to see you and share bits and pieces, and that's invaluable, isn't it? So, you know, people by people. So
it's funny how your brain thinks as well, isn't it? I was thinking about Catherine. She could perhaps do like a freebie that's again around anniversaries. If you've got a special anniversary coming up, here's your special offer. If you're looking for a 21st birthday present, or you know, you could. I was just sort of just thinking about that as it came to me. So
yeah, and then you can like manage their expectations of, you know, it takes time for the idea, for the you know, managing their expectations so that they're not doing it last minute, and it's, you know, when should you start thinking about it? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, well, great to see you all. Thanks for your input, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks,
Take
Natalie.
care. Bye.
Bye.